Okay,
That's
well,
what.
welcome everybody to the Hard Way Conversations. I've got my co-host, Uncle Warren, hostess with the mostest. I don't know. Anyway, we like to talk about, difficult decisions in life, and just so that you don't have to learn them the hard way and you could, just take nuggets from the different shows that we do. We do different topics every week. This topic is, is should I start to try to prepare to buy for a home. So, my first question, Uncle Warren, is why is it so important to start immediately as far as buying your own home?
Let's back this up. It's not 6 o'clock yet, and I haven't given my disclaimer yet.
Yes,
So,
okay.
bruh, for those of you who don't know, I will put somebody in their feelings today. Even though I'm trying to be nice because Soul has guessed that I'm going to be on my good behavior. However, if you find yourself in your feelings, don't mess with that cute little girl on the other side. Just come at me. I got you. We can talk about it any way you like. It's all good. So, having said that, what time is it officially? Is it 6 o'clock yet?
Now it's 8:59. This
8:50.
is the
Oh,
first time this, and I'm going to keep all of this because this is the first time that Uncle Warren has been early.
yeah, that part. See, I told you I
Yeah.
was going to get better. You didn't believe me.
I
So,
didn't. I had to check it before with the text. Are you ready?
that part, yes, that part. So I am going to go through us. Okay, there are 15 stats, 15 laws and declarations I want to discuss, but I'm only going to go through 7 because you be trying to put a brother on a time limit, right? And for these first 7, run through it, ask a question, make the point so that the audience can understand the direction we're going, and then you can shoot questions after that. But yeah, we about to be raw and real, about to have a good time. Is it 9 o'clock your time yet?
Yes, it's nine
All right,
o'clock my time. So wait,
let's.
just so that I get this straight, you don't want me to ask you any questions from the audience till the end,
No,
or
no,
we're
no.
supposed to
I'm
break?
gonna go
Okay.
through these 7. I'm gonna ask a question. I'm gonna answer the question, and then. But yeah, while I'm going through these 7, you know how you like to interrupt your boy. Yeah, just
Because you
gonna go
need to
ahead.
be interrupted sometimes.
Whatever. All right, let's kick this off. You ready? You sitting down? So you got your note, pen, and pad?
I
Because I'm teaching
do.
today. I'm teaching today. Here we go. From 1619 to 1865, enslaved blacks were legally banned from owning property. After 1865, black codes restricted blacks from owning property again. In 1865, we all canceled the thing that everyone has heard about, the 40 acres and the mule. Stick with me, I'm getting somewhere. Jim Crow from 1877 to 1965 disallowed black families to buy homes in quote unquote white areas. From 1910 to 1966, racial covenants forbade the sale of property to black buyers. From 1910 until today, zoning rules disallowed black families to participate in ownership in certain areas. They had to get more creative, but today that's still going on. From
Wow.
1934 to 1968, the United States participated in redlining. Most of us have heard of redlining. And the most egregious way in which they did it was they did not or would not insure homes in black communities. Then they'd go burn down the community. But that's another
Wow.
topic what we're talking about today. So my question is, just going through those 7, why do you think, and since I have to pick on you because, you're the only one here, why do you think white supremacists, and let's just call it what it is, work so hard to prevent black families from having home ownership?
Well, because they don't want them to create generational wealth. They want them
Yeah.
to continue to be struggling and dependent on the government. And yeah, so that's
You
basically it
smarter
in a
than you look,
nutshell.
girl. That was a good answer. You all right. You're all right, right? So the short answer is home ownership is the most surefire way of average Americans attaining financial stability and sometimes wealth. In other words, you don't have to be super smart, super special. Dad doesn't have to be rich. Home ownership for the average, oh, I got to lose a bow tie. For the average American
Just don't
is
lose anything else. Go ahead.
so is the quickest way. So if you're a white supremacist and you're going, how do we keep these people from participating in the American dream? You prevent them from having home ownership. And so, how true is that? Well, today, taking race out of it, homeowners have 40 times the wealth of renters. So,
Wow, 40 times. Okay.
40 times. So, in other words, the average renter has a net worth of about 10,000. Homeowners have an average worth of about 400,000.
Okay.
And so when we talk about the importance of buying a home, right? This isn't your daddies and grandparents and great grandparents conversation. This is me saying that if you've been working for 2 years, you're almost stupid not to.
Okay.
And so that's going to hit hard, and I mean every word of it. I do understand that certain people are in positions where, like, oh my God, right? I can't own a home right now, right? I would be a hypocrite if I didn't, right? One day the IRS sent me a bill for almost $700,000 saying,
Whoa.
we own you, right? Like, so anything I buy, they own. But I went the investment route. Right. You know, and this is crazy because people ask me about this, but the two ways that we understand how to build wealth. One is real estate. The other is investments. As gently as I can say this, I'm brilliant. And I've done
Hold
the
that
whole.
thought. Hold that thought. We have a comment. It applies in the Caribbean as well. So I think that is definitely something that should be addressed as well. But I apologize.
No, you're right. It applies worldwide when you don't have communism or Putin saying, and now that you've done all this work, I'm going to take your place. But yes, 1,000%, right? And so for me, I thought home ownership was small. And I'm going big. So you remember my story. I tried to buy a whole lot of Palm Springs. If I could have bought all of it, I would have, right? That was a business investment that went belly up. But because I was like, why buy one when I could buy a bunch of them? But technically, that was an investment. Salton Sea, tried to buy Salton Sea. Technically, that was an investment. The IRS thinks that I'm making money from all these places. Like, no, bro, but that's another long story, right? However, I have personally created several millionaires as a mortgage banker for doing it the simple way. People came to me, and true story, one person couldn't pay her Stonefield bill. She was like, oh, I'm having all these financial issues. I can't pay my cell phone bill to buy a house. And today,
I'm coming to you then because I can at least pay the cell phone. Go ahead.
Today she's a millionaire, right? But when I say millionaire in California, millionaire don't understand. She's a millionaire on paper. Well, she's actually a multimillionaire when I look at all her properties because she's bought multiples. But there are a lot of people, so I'm probably listening now going, yeah, I don't paper. When I go to my CPA, he says I'm a millionaire. It doesn't feel like it. I've created several millionaires with simply buying a house, not the investments. I've talked to people about buying Bitcoin and 401k advice and all that kind of good stuff. I've had 4 companies, and the people from way back till now that are millionaires on paper are those who simply bought a house and then sometimes bought another one, and then after that bought another one. It is super straightforward. And the reason that the formula is foolproof is that you have to live somewhere. You have to pay. So what you're either paying money to have someone else pay their mortgage, or you're paying your own mortgage. So people are like, well, what happens if I lose the house? Okay, sell it, take out the equity, right? But if in other communities, I service everybody, right? I have a bunch of people I call over the hill. They are programmed to buy as soon as they graduate college. As if they don't graduate, they're 20, 21, they've been working for 2 years, they then buy. you know, worst case scenario, the people who don't perform in their communities are buying at 25. And in our community, we're thinking about buying at 40. We need to change that mindset, right? Because if people who didn't know they could bought a home 20 years ago and just paid the mortgage in California, they're now millionaires. Think about that.
I have a question.
Yes, go for it.
Because I am in my 40s now. I'm still not a homeowner. So this, episode is really important to me. 20 years ago, like you said, I was in my 20s. I graduated college. I had a pretty good job. I didn't have a bunch of money saved up, but I didn't buy. And I feel like I escaped what happened because in the early 2000s, I don't remember what it was called, but a lot of people were losing their homes because the
2008.
market had gone way down.
2008.
So it's now 2008. Okay, yeah, I was 28. So basically, what is there? Is there a way to make sure that doesn't, like, what are the signs of that happening again? Is now really a good time for the market to buy? Sorry, go ahead.
That's a very good question. All those people who bought in before 2008 are multimillionaires now, right? So
Really? Okay.
yeah, let me help you. Somebody, I bought a house 2005, paid
Mm,
300,000 for it. 2008 came, the house was then worth 500,000. It dropped back down to 300,000. Today it's worth $1 million.
okay.
Let's do the math. Let's
Yep.
do the math. So was there a dip? Yes. Was it a bad time? Yes. Did people go broke, like including me during that time? Yes. Everybody in real estate, mortgage bankers. I knew brokers who, there's a difference, but I knew brokers who had 8, 9 offices and lost all of them. One guy had his roads that he was about to lose and he was putting in people's garages so that they didn't take it. Like it was a sad time. But
Sorry, that's happened to me. Not with the rolls, but go ahead.
you had a roll, you didn't tell me. We could have
Yeah.
been rolling. You didn't tell me about the roll. But
No, I had
yeah,
a repose, not a
but
roll.
so yeah, so so my point is those people that do multimillionaire then high and mighty lost it like that. But the advice for people who simply went to work every day was like, what do I do? Nothing. Just keep paying your mortgage, right? I guarantee anybody who buys a house today, in 10 years, that house will be worth more than what they paid for it. Right. And so you accrue equity. So what happens is you now have a forced savings account. Right. But when you're renting, the only thing that happens is your rent goes up.
Right.
Right. So people are like, oh my God, what happens if I lose my job and I lose my house? And so let's say that you bought a house for 300,000, you can't pay it anymore, it's worth 500,000. You sell it, now you have 200,000, you're still better off. Let's say you've been renting that whole time and you got evicted. You're like, so when you look at the truth, it's insane not to. Now, the question is, most people don't know how. They don't understand. They think it's more difficult than it is. When I tell you, especially in California, so they have programs that my bank doesn't even do. That's just insane. People on Section 8 can buy a house with their Section 8 voucher. So hear what I'm saying. If you hear this, you have a Section 8 voucher, you can buy a house. Now that you know that, it is dumb for you to just keep paying what you're paying now when you could be buying a house with that same money. People are like, I haven't saved up enough money. They have down payment assistance programs. They have so many of them now, I can't keep up. I have to now Google and say, all right, this is a black girl in college with 2 kids. Like they're so specific, right? We're going to put 20% down. So let's think about that. In LA, you're buying a house that's $1 million. Somebody putting 20% down is $200,000 for you to buy a house. You're stupid not to take that money, right?
Right.
So right now, home buying has gotten to the point in certain areas, not in red states. They still have programs in some red states, right? I'm not talking about y'all red state people. Technically, you used to be a purple state. That's Florida, right? But they still have programs. So now you can get in. You don't have to have the highest FICO score, and that's the warning that I'm going to give. And if we have questions, let me know because
I have a couple comments
all right, go ahead.
from a lady earlier, Real Gem Pat.
Mhm.
I think this was in retort to your brilliant comment. She says that was gently that you were going to say that you were
That
brilliant.
was Jim. That was me
So,
taking some off. My point
mm,
was, as well read as I am, and as much as I studied the stock market and do that kind of it doesn't matter in the stock market. If you go the Warren Buffett way, where you buy into a 401k type thing, you buy into an index, you buy into. If I'm talking to somebody today, I'm like, hey, just do it the slow way, and you follow what I'm saying. But people like me, we get in, we think we're smarter, right? And then you get an idiot. Donald Trump will say something one night. I'm like, ooh, make this investment, change his mind in the morning, and before I could change my thing, I've lost thousands of dollars. That literally happened last year, right?
and
So
then our friend from the Caribbean also said renting is considered dead money. What do you have to
it's,
say as far as that goes?
I'm telling you, our friend from the Caribbean is brilliant. It absolutely is. So right now in California, you have no excuse. The people are giving you money to buy a home. And so all the things that I read about in the beginning of this, where I'm saying, hey, they did all this stuff to stop you from getting a home. Now they're
Mhm.
throwing money at you to get a home. If you're paying rent anyway, it would be stupid
Mhm.
not to do it. Now, here's the caveat. Um, when I went to SC, I grew up hand to mouth, or poor, right? For those people don't know hand to mouth is,
You know, I
right?
hand them out, yes.
Right. Yeah. So my mother was focused on rest her soul on feeding 5 kids, right? And so
Mhm.
when I tell you she's my hero, I didn't understand how bad she was till I was making $30,000 a year and thought my didn't stink, and I was broke. I was like, mother raised 5 kids, never made more than $20,000 in her life. Yeah,
Wow.
that part.
Mhm.
So put all 5 through college, right? And so,
Wow.
it was a belt and a switch involved, but still, she got us there. so, I get on campus and they have these things called credit cards. I don't know nothing about all that. I was like, so wait a minute. I signed this. You give me a credit card. I'll spend the money and we good. I didn't know about no FICO. I was living high on the hog. I was good.
Mhm.
Woo! And then them bills came. I was like, what's this?
That's a travesty that they do that at
well,
all
well,
colleges. Thank you. Stay
it's
safe for joining us. Stay self. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, it's not. So I disagree. They're trying to give you a soft start, but when you're not educated about credit, you don't know, right?
Mhm.
So the people across the hill, they were educated. They knew,
Mhm.
right? And they understood how to manage it. They already had credit cards. They already knew what their FICO score was. They was walking around with 800 on their forehead. They knew all that. I'm new to the game, right? And
Right.
so education has a lot to do with it. Our generation
Mhm.
is teaching the next generation since we learned the hard way. But I will say this. When I tell people to start
Sorry,
to
buzzword the hard way. Continue.
oh, when I it's so beautiful. When I tell people to start trying now, the very first thing you want to do, change your life, know what your FICO score is, and do everything you can to get it as close to 800 as you can. It changes everything. It changes how much you can pay for a car. It changes your what you qualify for and where the house. When people giving you away free money, you have 800 FICO score and they're giving $200,000 to buy a house. It changes everything. The worst thing that we do, even people come like, I'm ready to buy a house, got a 540 FICO score and no money in the bank. What can you do for me? I'm gonna still get you in a house. It ain't today, right?
Mhm.
But you're hurting yourself because of a low FICO score. You're paying way more money, and I didn't understand when I was a kid why my uncle was paying. Why he was making the same much as the other construction people, but we were living in the hood, or he was anyway, and they were living across the hill. Well, they understood credit from the time they popped out, right?
Mhm.
So for the same money, same house, they're able to get a whole lot more, right? So they're
Mhm.
paying the same mortgage with a much bigger house because of their FICO scores, and we just don't know. So that's the first thing you want to do. You really want to maximize your FICO score, and
We got to pay
Um,
attention to a couple. We got a lot of comments today.
go for it. Let's knock them out.
Um, yes, real Gem Pat. Financial education should start in middle school, especially in the inner city.
Amen. Yes.
Definitely. Stay
And it's never
safe.
too late. Go ahead.
I keep messing up her name. I'm sorry. Stay.self. Blessings to you and blessed to be here to receive important information. Thanks, Uncle Warren Hart.
That sounds like a beautifully intelligent, wonderful person.
Misleading, but yes. No. Yes. I agree.
So now, one of the questions that you came up that I thought was brilliant was that you said, I'm giving you game now. So first game,
Oh,
making life easy, get your FICO score up, whatever it takes. And if you need help, DM me, right? Like there are tools, there's stuff to go. They got cats in the ghetto going, I can get your FICO up. Do that, right? And if we have time, I'll tell you about my FICO story at the end of this. But after you do that, and your question is, if what was it, boyfriend, girlfriend? If you're dating, do you buy a house together?
yes. If you're a couple, should you buy a house together?
So,
Yes.
so this esteemed controversy. The answer is hell yes. Yes. So what? You might break up. Yes. And so the example I gave you, you buy a house for $300,000 now. Not in California now, but we're not in LA. So let's say you buy Inland Empire or in Jacksonville.
I knew you were going to down this.
you buy a house for $300,000, and you're paying rent now. I mean, you're paying your mortgage rather, and now it's worth $500,000. Y'all break up. So a couple of things happen. One person say, "I'll buy you out." We have $200,000 in equity just because we paid the mortgage, i.e. the rent, just because we paid for a place to live that was nicer than either one of us could have done by ourselves.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? Now we live in high law, but maybe the girl's like, I'm making a lot more money now. I don't need you. I'm gonna pay you out. I'm gonna go ahead and cash out, do a cash out refinance. I'm gonna give you $100,000. I'm gonna keep the house, and I'm smooth because I'm gonna keep gaining this equity, right? Or you guys sell a house now. I'm rounding stuff off because there's cost involved in selling a home. But you sell a house, and you're like, okay, well here's your $100,000. Here's your $100,000 after closing costs. But you're way in a better position than you were had you just kept renting. And you probably would not have qualified had you done it the other way. Now, if I had the knowledge when I was coming out of college that I have now, me and my college roommates and all of them was like, hey, let's go rent a place together because we can get a nicer place if we rent together. No, let's go buy a place together.
Right.
Let's all get on the same level. When I tell you that our friends from the southern border come over here and we make all the jokes you want. I've watched them buy property after property after property, and they were like, all right, all five of us went in, we bought this one next. So I don't care if it's your five friends. Go ahead, make sure that you talk to your escrow company to make sure how to get on title so that you protect yourself, right? You don't want to have one where you die and then everybody gets your money type thing, right? But I'm not get that deep into it. There are ways around that, but your five friends in college, we think we're going to be buddies forever. Y'all know how that goes. It's like the girlfriend, boyfriend, we're going to be girlfriend. Buy. Like right now you can buy. And the down payment is no longer an issue. It got all kind of down payment programs. So
I have a question since we're speaking about college students. A lot of college students, when you leave, you have student loans. And
yes.
Depending on what school you've gone to, depending if you've gone to go get your master's, they could be upwards of almost $200,000 that you owe. Should you, and you can't choose between the mortgage or the student loan. Obviously you pay the mortgage, but I guess my question is, I feel like a lot of people fear that they can't afford it because they already have that huge student loan debt looming over them, so they're afraid of that. So what is your
so that fear is what's going to have people broke when they're 50, right?
Yeah.
The issue you're going to have is what's called a debt to income ratio, but I'm not about to nerd out on you, right? People will look and say, well, you can pay this, and this is how much you got left over. This is how much house you can afford. Once we get the idiot who's in the White House out now, you'll have somebody more like Obama, somebody more like Clinton who are saying, let's get rid of some of the student loan debt, right? or at least let's
Mhm.
position it so that, like, if you become a teacher, they got debt forgiveness, right? The person's
Mhm.
name you mess up all the time. I don't see her another day. I can't say anything on that, but I call her Auntie D. It's Deanne. She just got her student loans forgiven, right?
Oh wow.
So yeah, my point, like it, that you got. So what we do, we look in to say, because I'm also a consultant. Like I hook us up. You call me, and see, here's the thing that's scary, right? I'm behind the curtain. Like, we
Mhm.
don't have enough people who look like me no, but you know what I'm saying. Enough people who look like me that are behind the curtain who can
Mhm.
help us. But I'm behind the curtain. You call me and I'll tell you what the deets are. So you set it up and you're like, hey, look, this is um, uh, what you can do to get the minimum payment a month. So you set it up that you're paying your student loans back, right? And the way you set it up, you're on a 100-year payback program. You don't care, especially if you're a doctor, if you're a teacher, if you get on a forgiveness program, you pay it for 20 years to disappear. Get the lowest possible payment, right? You don't worry about that. But if I could have done this, right, and I don't mind putting myself on blast because I'm trying to help people, right? IRS sends me a bill for 700,000, right? You know,
Mhm.
most of it's paid, for the record. People wondering, but but yeah, that's a bitch. But I would have been better off, right? Saying, okay, can I still buy a house? Now, in that case, they won't let you do it, right? So that's why I just kept doing investments because I didn't really care. I wasn't mindset. If I had got married with kids, life would be entirely different. But had I bought a house, right, and had $700,000 in equity, and today I would have a couple million from where I was started, and then said, okay, IRS, take the house. Take it. I'm good. It'd be paid, and I'd have change coming, right? So if you got student loans, you have to pay rent anyway.
Right. Mhm.
You have to pay rent anyway, so you're gonna stay broke and be paying. No, buy the house you can buy, get the equity up. If you get tired of your student loans, if they're not forgiven, take the equity up, pay off the student loans, call it a day. It's a piggy bank. You're getting a piggy bank. So I'm just trying to be clear. Forgive my lingo. If you are in a position to buy a home and you don't, you're stupid not to. I don't know if I can say that any more clearly. So let me say it again. If you're in a position to buy a home and you don't, you're stupid not to. Now, to buy a home, you need 2 years work experience and a good FICO score, right? Most people listen to this been to work for 2 years, right? So go ahead. Do you have a question?
No, you mentioned the FICO score, which was another question. What score would you say is the minimum that you would have to
700.
have to,
You
there
don't.
is no?
No, it's 700. The minimum to get an FHA loan is 580, right? This is
Mhm.
behind the curtain shit. I know it's been recorded, but I don't care, right? Most direct lenders, I'm a direct lender. We see
Mhm.
something under 620, we're gonna find a way to kick that loan out. Sorry, you're getting your decline letter. You ain't doing that shit. Like, you ain't paid nothing. You under 60, like, and there are different insurances we have, and we need to make sure the loan now says you have to have the ability to repay. We have to show that. So it's easy to decline the loan now, going like, yeah, we weren't sure they could pay it. But yeah, um, for our insurances and all our indemnifications under 620, no. So the minimum you want to have 620, but I hate even answering that question, right? Because 620
Mhm.
means you're going to have the highest mortgage insurance. And, that simply means you didn't have 20% down. So you got to pay extra insurance to cover us. That's going to be through the roof. And you're going to have the highest principal and interest pay. Your interest is going to be as high as hell. So now the house it's barely affordable. Now there's some cats who are making money different ways who are like, I don't care what it is, right? But it's still wasted money. If you
Mhm.
can afford to pay the extra interest, you can afford to just get your FICO up to 800.
How quickly, let's say a person has a score under 600, not like crazy, but like, yeah, high 500s, 580, like you
That's
mentioned.
crazy. Go ahead.
Yes, it is crazy. So if they had that, how, and you're saying 800 would be the best, what is the most strategic way to grow it to 800? Like, and how long would that actually take to do?
So how long it takes is variable, right? So there are different levels of game. This is not financial advice. I'm a
Mhm.
licensed everything, so I got federal and state. So I'm not giving any finance. I'm not telling anybody to do it. I'm just telling you what I heard, right? But
Mhm.
how do we get bad FICOs? Well, first, paying late on stuff, right? So stop that, right? I mean, that's just the whole common sense part. Stop that. Then what people don't realize is that when you have credit cards and your debt limit on a credit card, if you're close to your debt limit on a credit card, it lowers your FICO score. So if you have a credit card, $1,000 limit, and you're paying the thing and you're at 900, lowers your FICO score. If you want to increase your FICO score immediately, pay off all your credit cards. Forget what they say on Credit Karma and all that. I'm your new credit card. I'm better than ChatGPT and all of them. I'm just telling you, forget what they're selling you. You don't need to buy nothing. You don't need to. If you pay down to 10%, then you move this here and you do that and you pay me some money and we go. No, you don't do all that. Pay them off, right? If you do that, your FICO score will go up. I don't care where it is now, but it depends on how horrible it is. So for me, when I leased my car, right? I was like, I'm going to get a car. I went ahead, pulled money from here to here, and paid off everything, right? FICO shot up to almost 800, right? Like, good. Went and did the lease, then pulled all that money. I need my cheese, right? But but my point is that part is anybody can do it. It's super simple. And in my case, I borrowed money from myself to do that, right? But if you're reliable, it's like, hey man, this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna pull it on the credit card, I'm gonna pull it back off and give it to you. But it's worth it, right? Because for a $60,000 car, I'm paying $200 a month for actually less than that, right? Because I went in with the mad FICO and the skills and was like, what can we do here, right? Like, no, family. So, but if my FICO was garbage, then no, they won't. Like, no, you lucky if we give you a car. And we need to stop walking in dealerships going, yeah, I got approved. They don't do that. They walk in and say, listen, this is the car I want. This is the payment I want. This is what I'm gonna put down. Yes or no. And you say that you fall asleep, you need to walk in with, well, again, I love everybody. Somebody look at this 10 years and now say I was racist. I'm not, just the way I talk. But you need to get what I call white people credit. Because that's how they do it. Walk in and I'm like, hey, so even when most of my clients now look like me because God loves y'all. But when I started, very, very few clients look like me. And because I was the top performer, they had me servicing their best clients, right? And they would call me and it's like, hey, buddy, yeah, so let's, here's what the interest rates are. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going, we have a deal? Yes, sir. So there's no point. Sometimes they overcharge themselves. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. But, now when I'm dealing with us, the education is 2 weeks, right? And so that it wasn't racism that banks didn't want to deal with us, is that we walked in, it was more work, more effort, more trouble. And, sometimes they didn't get the deal done. Well, but when Bobby called and going, hey, buddy, so I know I got 780. I looked on the news today. The Wall Street Journal rate was this. So here's what I wanted to, like, it's a whole different, so I have become the financial insight for a whole bunch of people. And I glad to be that, right? But we just need to be smarter and more intelligent. So to your point, the first thing you want to do is stop missing stuff, stop paying stuff off. If you have charge-offs, again, this is something I heard. Don't come at me, SEC and nobody else. If you have charge-offs, don't pay them, especially if they're old. If you have charge-offs, just let them go. Because what happens when you have charge-offs and delinquencies and you go back and pay them, like there's for foreclosures and bankruptcy, 7 years. But for everything else, it's 5 years, right? Let's say it's 3 years in and they're like, hey, pay us. Once you pay them, that mark on your credit resets. It's still a negative mark, but for the next 5 years, it's going to say he paid us, but he paid us late. Or he paid us, but he short paid us, and it still negatively impacts your FICO. So unless the loan requires, there are some loans that I do for people that requires you pay them. That's a different story. But if it doesn't, oh no, leave them alone. And then they got all these people on the internet who's telling you, I can get charge-offs off. If it's somebody you trust who's not gonna run off with your money, that you follow what I'm saying. Don't do stuff on the internet with you. only deal with people where you can go visit their home damn near, right? Like you could see them belly to belly. Just don't get ripped off. People do have skills. They do know how to go in there. Like we got talented folk. I don't care how big AI get. We got people who can hack AI. It's like, wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute, you couldn't pass math class and you hacking AI, but they got somebody who be careful though. Stay on the legal side if you can, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the charge offs, the delete, don't pay any of it. Just pay down what you can, and then if you do pay it, you go in and you tell them, look, I'm gonna pay you, but you got to take that whole thing off. They'll lie and tell you we can't do that. That's a lie, right? And if they say no, leave it well enough alone, right? But there's always a way. Then um, you have the authorized user. This is not financial advice. You have the authorized user. You can go in, like say if you have your parents, right, got perfect
Mm-hmm.
credit. They got credit cards that are older than you, right? And they don't even use them really, and they can add you to their card and
Mm-hmm.
your FICO score shoots up immediately, right? If you don't have that, so that's the issue. There are people who grew up in scenarios where I did, right? I think I didn't grow up in the projects, but I had to live in the projects for like a year and a half in the Aliso Village. And when I tell you that stuff on TV is real, it was insane. Like my
Mm-hmm.
oldest cousin who lived with us, like 12 of us in there, he was a pimp. My other cousin was the head of a gang. We all lived like, I was like, this ain't real. Like, listen, but so people who, they don't have somebody with good credit that they can say, put me on. So they have people on the internet who are selling authorized users, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so find somebody you know that you can trust, a friend of a friend. If you black, you know somebody who knows somebody, and make sure again that you're not getting taken advantage of. Now with the authorized user, if they put too many people on a credit card can get shut down. If they or if the person that is selling the access to their credit card because they're making money, right? This person has the 800 FICO, they got all these credit cards, they're not really using them. They're just putting authorized users on them, and then they're charging you whatever. That's how they make their money, right? It's a hustle. But if they got in a bind and started using the card, now your FICO went on, you can go on and say, hey, I was only an authorized user, take me off. People don't know that, but you can't get it taken off. Like if they go bad, go get your money back, but you can take them off. So that the authorized user is the thing that has been most effective for the longest to quickly get somebody up. So if you want to know the speediest thing,
Mm-hmm.
go to like, cause your parents got immaculate credit, I'm sure, right? So
Yeah.
exactly that part, you know, so, be like, look, you don't have to give me the card. I can't use it. I'm like, you just put my name on it. They're gonna ship the card to you.
I
You
did
keep it. You
not
cut.
know that. Thank you. Look what I did because we're actually over time, but this is very useful information. We
Well,
got a
we
lot of
we
people
we went over last
commenting.
week. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, I
Keep going.
went ahead and I put Uncle Warren's DM handle if you want to ask him questions directly. I also put our YouTube website if you want to, post questions there. But
Yo,
if you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want your
Go
business
to
out
YouTube.
there,
We're trying to figure out how to get on. Please go to YouTube, hit like the
I
thing or
already
whatever.
put a
Follow.
pin note. They're
What?
gonna
But I'm
DM
telling you
you.
now, go to the pin because you ain't, and then
So
hit
should I
like,
delete the
subscribe.
pin?
Yeah,
Leave
well,
that
no,
one
leave the pin. But I need them to
alone.
go and subscribe. And it'll be messing. Hey, listen, look, I saw this on TV. That this is what you're supposed to say. Don't
I
mess with
know,
me.
but the reason I did that is because some people have personal questions
No,
that
no,
they
no, I'm
don't
not
want to
just to go.
post
No,
on
no, I'm not.
YouTube.
Boo, 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 boo. I'm gonna let you get back
Okay.
to that. But you're right. I'm saying I was interjecting you because I just hit me to tell people go to YouTube and subscribe to the
But
page
I
so we
said
can get
that.
whatever. Get our ass
I
on
said
YouTube.
that in the
But then
whole
we both
thing.
said it. Now they heard it twice. Whatever. Now go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Okay.
That
No,
part.
that's
So,
all I
Bite.
had. Oh, the people commenting. Okay, let's go. We got the our friend from the Caribbean, Nigel Roberts, 57. The system in the US is so made to find a way out once you understand the financial system and its works. Okay. Real Gem
Yeah.
Pat, I agree. A bunch of people joining. State.self, he's been knowledgeable for years. We have ears to hear new. Oh, we have ears to hear now. Two smiley faces. Rob Behringer, haha. I mean, we're funny, so he could have been laughing at anything. And then,
Yes, you
and
are
then
hilarious.
you are as well. We work well.
No,
Okay,
you're
and
the
then we
funny
got
one. I'm the
Robbie.
sexy one. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I want to see your best sexy look. Give me the blue steel. That's what I want to see. You
Oh,
see
that one. No, I'm joking. Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish, girl.
Okay.
You clown. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Then we got Robbing Bear. Oh, wow. Okay. Big wash 45. So you make it stay on your credit longer. I think he was talking about when you
Yes.
said don't pay
Yeah.
chargebacks.
Don't pay the
Okay.
charge off. Don't pay none of that shit. Go ahead. Especially if
Yeah.
you close an account and it has late on it, just let it go. But go ahead.
Yeah. And then we got good info. I'm not paying nothing. Exclamation. So many
I didn't
times
say that
being
though.
true.
Government.
And then
No, go ahead.
and then robbing bear networking is key! Exclamation point. And state out self. Her name is Tamara. I think she knows you. She
She
said
said
thank
Tamara.
you.
Her name ain't Tamara. She better say Tamika. She will. She got squabbles. That's one.
I don't know about that.
That's one of the queens. You know what? But go
Then,
ahead. What was she
then we
saying?
got no, she just said thank you with hearts.
Oh,
And then we have Unc. I'm gonna
I love
call
her.
you. You buying more property? Explanation point. That's King J.R. Gary.
Yo, what's up, Terry? Woo! Happy belated birthday. I don't know if you got my text from months ago, but yeah. But yeah, I'm at this point, I'm almost done with the IRS thingy, like down 140, 150,000. Then I might do some investments or just buy a house. But yeah, anything, if it's collaborative, we trying to do, hit me up. I'll always tell you how to get it done, right?
Right.
So, because you're trying to wrap up, I do want to go ahead and make sure we have these gyms in place, right? The
And
answer
no
is
Carmela. State out self, your friend. No Carmela. Does that make sense? I don't know. Continue.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
right.
state out self. If you want to post another comment to explain. Sorry, go
She,
ahead, Uncle Warren.
right, right. So the things we want to take from this, right?
Mm.
When should you start trying to buy a house? I'm gonna let you answer that.
Immediately.
Yes, now. Fucking now. You're paying if you have had a job for 2 years or income for 2 years or self-employed for 2 years and you're paying rent, freaking start the process now. If you
Mhm.
have questions, just DM me. Right?
We
I've
got those
helped,
hands,
you know,
yeah. Mhm.
yeah, I've helped years ago when I started, I helped a lot of people who didn't look like me who are multimillionaires now. And one day I sat in church and realized that I can't help the person next to me because we didn't talk to you if you didn't have over 700 FICO score. And we did, right? So we had to solve that issue. But just like people who know me know whether you like it or not, I got an answer. Right.
Mhm.
So then the question is, if I'm 22, 24 and my four friends want to rent together, what do you tell your four friends? Go
Let's
ahead.
buy a house together.
Yeah. Yeah. Freak renting. Let's buy.
Yeah.
Let's
Mhm.
buy. So if you're paying rent now and you've had a job for 2 years and whatever your FICO score is, now is the time to start. If you pull your FICO and it's 800, I can get you on a house now. That's how bad it's like. They got down payment assistance that are going to give you money, right? I know how this whole thing works. We'll get you in now. And I will tell you how to sustainably own property and move forward so that if you start buying in your 20s, you can retire in your 40s if you want to, right?
What if you just recently lost your job?
You don't tell your mortgage banker.
They won't know for about a couple months, right?
Right. What you do is when you get the new job, you keep the title similar and you call it a hiatus or whatever the case, right? But you still show it as the 2 years. That was the way around it, right? But when you've been employed, as long as not for an overly extended period of time, you've been back for 2 months and you got some W-2, you're good. We can get past all that. But don't ever in the process when you lost it, don't bring that up. No, and y'all stop putting, when we ask you for your bank statements, don't ever send a bank statement if it's negative. Don't do that. Come on, that's an immediate. I'm like, it's bad. I gotta tell people that, but that's an immediate. Yeah, it should be, but when you tell people I'm gonna give you a down payment, I'm gonna give you a lower interest rate, we're gonna give you this, they're still need to understand that you can be responsible with money, right? A lot of these programs make people take a class. You follow what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter what you have to do. And it doesn't matter if you're 25 and it takes you 2 years to buy. Start now. Please don't be one of those people who wake up when you're 28. I don't know what about women's brain changed to 28. And you're like, you know what? I want to buy a house. I want to be in it tomorrow. And you ain't got no money, bad FICO, and you mad at me because I can't put you in a house tomorrow. Well, I get child support. That's not how this works. Start now. Start asking professionals now. And what I love about ChatGPT, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I was ChatGPT before. ChatGPT was ChatGPT. But now you can just ask it questions. And if you don't understand those answers, now you can ask me and I'll translate it for you, right? We can put a whole generation of young Black, brown, and whatever, and everybody. I have everybody, you know what I'm saying? But a whole bunch in houses now, changing the dynamic. Because I didn't give you all the stats, but the reason for the disparity of home ownership or wealth gap, what is it? Is at least 20 times that white families are worth than black families, right? And people are like, why is that? It's because they bought houses. That's it. It's not nothing. Is that they can't buy, like, so now we're going to grab our kids, nephews, nieces, and say, buy a house, buy a property. And now, if you're young, you probably got to buy further out. You're young, sit your ass in traffic. You'll be glad you did. How many of us wish that somebody would just grab us by our neck when we were running around doing stuff and wasting money and said you can buy a house? But there's so many programs. If you haven't saved money, say it used to be. I know you sent me a question. How much you need to save? Let's not worry about that yet. Let's start the process. Right? Let's start. Don't send me a negative bank account, but let's start the process. And if it takes 2 years, so what? But don't wait 5 years to start, because now, you follow what I'm saying? Some people start now, won't be able to buy until we have a new president. Okay. Right? But it is a waste to have this behind the curtain looking out for you, and you don't even reach out to me to say, how do I get a house? If you got kids, that's that. Oh my goodness! Like, there's a problem with that. So I didn't mean to make that part of the lecture, but the time is now. And if you have an option to buy and you're renting, you're dumb. It's stupid. DM me if you want. Be mad if you want. It is dumb. Now, if you're like, I'm a felon, I can't. You did, but let me tell you, you can't do it. Right? You called me and said, this is my circumstance. Let me tell you that I can't. And you'll never hear me say you can't. I will always tell you what it needs to happen and what the trajectory is, right? Change. If we started, the reason that we couldn't buy houses then was that they wanted to keep the status quo. If we change that today, and instead of having, right now, black ownership is 45%, white ownership is 75%. We change it to 75%. We're not going to have to keep asking what happened with Nolan and all that. We'll have more power to make a difference. When there was a time you could only vote if you owned a house. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, or own property with same thing, but we can change that narrative now. We have people behind the curtain. I agree that not everyone who says that they're a mortgage banker is worth the salt. Not every realtor is trying to help you, but we know at least one. And I know some very, very good people in the industry. Yeah. You just have to reach out. So go tell a friend, tell a friend, to tell a friend. Now is the time to start. Now, I'm going to wrap this up. The reason it's important now is that right now rates are high. And if you start now, there's going to be a drop in rates. You want to be first in line when those rates drop, because if you aren't, and rates drop, then housing values start to skyrocket again, and you're buying at the top of the market. You don't want to be that person who starts getting your act together when rates drop back down to 4.5%, right?
Yeah.
You want to be that person getting your act together now. And
Exactly.
then when we have you all qualified and ready to go, now you're going out shopping with a letter from me saying you pre-qualified, right? And you know, rates drop and you get you in there. And if you're young, if you're 24, 25, I'm gonna tell you start buying a house every 5 years.
Yeah. Well, this has been a very important episode, and we've had a lot of interest. And unfortunately, after I download this, all your comments and questions go away. So, again, go to our YouTube page. I'm going to have the full episode, rewatch it. If you have any questions, please go ahead, like and subscribe. But if you have
Yeah,
any
like and
direct
subscribe. That's what they be saying. They be saying like and subscribe. Yeah, go to our YouTube. Go to our YouTube page and like and subscribe. That part. Go ahead.
yeah. That was it. Thank you, Uncle Warren, for the
Hey,
animated.
yeah. I
Yes,
don't even
thank
know
you.
what episode is this.
This is episode 8.
Hey, you guys
And 8
rocking
is
with
the,
us
yeah.
to episode 8. We got some fire episodes coming up. I don't know when, but I'm gonna tease the next one. You guys think I called you stupid if you don't try to buy a house now if you can. Woo! You're gonna be mad. You're gonna be mad. I'm gonna leave after this. Hey, I love you guys. Thank you for coming, but I'm gonna leave because I don't want no hate mail. I'm gonna leave after I say this.
Oh, they got your Instagram. So,
Okay,
well,
cool.
they
So
had it
believe
before
it.
anyways, but it's real easy to get it now. You pinned. So you're
Oh,
going
cool.
to
Oh
get
my
all
goodness.
those.
Yes, yes, yes. Do I have clothes on or no pictures? I don't know. So yes. So it might not be the next episode, but one of these episodes, we're gonna talk about something that you guys aren't going to understand, but I'm gonna break it down to you. But if you're in a position where you need to buy a new car, and you don't buy a fully electric car, you stupid. I'll see y'all later.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Again, go to our YouTube page. I'm going to download the episode tonight. It should be ready in like no more than an hour or so, and you can rewatch it. Any questions, DM me, DM Uncle Warren. And thank you so much for your time. Y'all have a good one. Bye.